Xbox exclusives help define the Xbox brand, offering a USP that sets it apart from PlayStation and Nintendo. They also showcase the technical capabilities of the Xbox hardware, as such games are optimized for the platform. In this marvelous video, we take a look at 15 such exclusives. We'll explore and discuss why gamers might just give in and buy the darned Xbox just to play these titles. Let's go.
Is it exploding lambent?
Yeah, like the wretches, but way bigger.
Then I think we've got our bomb.
Gears of War II, 2008. Gears of War II is a thrilling ride that amps up everything fans loved about the original game while introducing some new elements to keep things fresh. First off, the gameplay is as intense and satisfying as ever. The cover-based shooting mechanics are refined, making every firefight a tactical challenge. The AI has been improved, making enemies more cunning and your squad mates more helpful, especially on higher difficulties. The addition of new weapons, like the Mulcher and Mortar, adds variety, though some might feel they're not as groundbreaking as the iconic Hammer of Dawn from the first game. The new Horde mode is a standout, allowing you and up to 4 friends to fend off waves of increasingly tough Locust enemies, which is an absolute blast and adds significant replay value. The plot of Gears of War II is a mix. While it's an improvement over the original, with a more straightforward and engaging narrative, it still falls into cliched territory. The story picks up 6 months after the first game, with Marcus Phoenix and Delta Squad taking the fight to the Locust in their underground lairs. There are some emotional beats, particularly involving Dom's search for his missing wife, but the overall narrative can feel a bit thin and leaves several threads dangling. Graphically, the game is stunning. The environments are more varied and detailed than in the first game, ranging from lush forests to eerie underground caverns. The character models are more detailed, and the game's use of lighting and shadows adds to the atmosphere, making the world of Sarah feel more alive and immersive. The cutscenes are cinematic and well-directed, contributing to the game's blockbuster feel. The audio in Gears of War II is top-notch. The sound design is phenomenal, with every gunshot, explosion, and chainsaw rev sounding visceral and impactful. The voice acting is generally strong, with standout performances that add depth to the characters. If you're a fan of intense cover-based shooters, Gears of War II is a must-play. Forza Motorsport 3, 2009. Forza Motorsport 3 is a racing game that truly revs up the excitement for both novice and hardcore racing fans. To begin, the graphics in Forza Motorsport 3 are nothing short of spectacular. The car models are incredibly detailed, showcasing unique interiors for each vehicle, and the game runs smoothly at 60 frames per second. The damage modeling is impressive, with visible dings, dents, and even cars flipping in the air. However, some minor issues like shadow glitches and damaged decals appearing a bit too magically can be a tad disconcerting. Overall though, the visual experience is top-notch, making every race a visual treat. While racing games typically don't have a plot, Forza Motorsport 3 offers a robust career mode that keeps you engaged. The career mode spans 6 seasons, each longer than the last, with a mix of bi-weekly championship races and dynamic events tailored to your car collection and racing style. This dynamic approach ensures no two careers are alike, adding a layer of personalization and replayability. The progression system rewards you with new cars as you level up, encouraging you to try different vehicles and keep the experience fresh. The audio in Forza Motorsport 3 is another highlight. Each car has its own distinct sound, making the auditory experience behind the wheel of a Porsche 911 vastly different from that of a Mustang Boss. The engine roars are satisfying and immersive, though the music selection leaves something to be desired. Thankfully, the roar of the engines often drowns out the mediocre tunes, keeping you focused on the race. The game offers over 400 cars, all unlocked from the start, allowing you to jump into your dream car right away if you have the credits. The enhanced physics and real-time tire deformation provide a nuanced driving experience, making each car feel unique. The game caters to both novices and experts, with various driving assists and tuning options. The rewind feature is a game changer, letting you correct mistakes mistakes without penalty, which encourages you to push your limits and enjoy the thrill of high-speed racing. Multiplayer is another strong suit of Forza Motorsport 3, offering extensive customization options for races. You can set up unique game types, adjust car classes, and even create scenarios like cat and mouse chases. This level of customization makes multiplayer races incredibly fun and varied, ensuring you'll never get bored.
Beloved, be a legend. Who will you become? Fable II.
Fable II, 2008. Fable II is a game that takes you on a whimsical journey through the fantastical world of Albion, and boy does it do so with style. The graphics in Fable II are stunning. The world of Albion is beautifully crafted, with each region offering its own unique charm. From the bustling streets of Bowerstone to the eerie swamps of Wraithmarsh, every location is rich in detail and atmosphere. The attention to detail is staggering, making the world feel alive and immersive. Whether you're exploring dense forests or quaint villages, the visual experience is consistently engaging and often breathtaking. Fable 2 spins an epic tale that starts with humble beginnings and grows into a grand adventure. You begin as a child in the streets of Bowerstone and eventually rise to become a hero whose decisions shape the fate of Albion. The story is filled with moral choices that have tangible effects on the world around you. These choices range from the simple to the complex, offering shades of gray that make you ponder your actions. While the main storyline might be relatively brief, the depth of the narrative and the impact of your decisions make it a compelling journey. However, some might find the plot a bit lacking in certain areas, but the overall experience more than makes up for it. When it comes to gameplay, Fable 2 shines in its accessibility. The combat system is straightforward, with single-button melee attacks that make it easy for anyone to pick up and play. While this simplicity might not satisfy those looking for deep, skill-based combat, it ensures that the game remains fun and engaging. The same goes for ranged attacks and magic, which offer plenty of upgrades, but ultimately boil down to increasing power rather than expanding tactical options. The game's social simulation elements are where it truly stands out. From buying property to starting a family, the game offers a wealth of activities that make Albion feel like a living, breathing world. These elements are seamlessly integrated, providing a rich and immersive experience. Finally, the audio in Fable 2 deserves a shout out. The voice acting is top-notch, bringing the characters to life with personality and charm. The music, while sometimes hit or miss, generally complements the game's atmosphere well.
Then a new enemy came after us, even worse than the last, the Lambent. Now they're spreading across Serra, killing everything in their path. We've held them off as long as we can. We're out of options.
Gears of War 3, 2011. Gears of War 3 is like a roller coaster ride through a war-torn amusement park, complete with explosive highs, emotional dips, and a whole lot of chainsaw-wielding action. It's a testosterone-fueled soap opera set in a dystopian world where things have gone from bad to, are you kidding me? Marcus Phoenix and his band of merry muscle-bound misfits are back, fighting off the Locust and the new Lambent threat. The story kicks off with a bang, literally, as Chairman Prescott drops a bombshell. Marcus's dad is alive and kicking on a secret island. Cue the epic quest to save him, filled with enough twists and turns to make a pretzel jealous. Dom's sacrifice is a gut punch, and the final showdown with Queen Mira is as predictable as it is satisfying. It's not Shakespeare, but it's got enough bro-motional moments to keep you invested until the very end. The environments are richly detailed, from the crumbling ruins of Char to the lush, albeit deadly, landscapes of Syrah. The lighting effects are top-notch, and the smoke and explosions are so realistic you might find yourself ducking for cover in your living room. Character models are beefy and well rendered, making every chainsaw duel and headshot a gory delight. However, the game does have its hiccups. Expect some framerate drops when the screen gets too crowded with enemies and bullets. On the audio front, the game is a symphony of destruction. The sound effects are equally impressive. The roar of the Lancer's chainsaw, the thunderous explosions, and the guttural growls of the Locust all contribute tribute to an immersive experience. The cover-based shooting mechanics are as tight as ever, and the addition of new weapons like the Digger and the Silverback mech suit adds fresh layers of strategy and fun. The AI has been improved, so your teammates are more helpful and can even revive you, which is a godsend during intense battles. Multiplayer modes have been given a significant overhaul, with Horde 2.0 and Beast Mode offering endless replay value. Whether you're mowing down waves of enemies with friends or going head-to-head in Versus mode, there's plenty to keep you coming back for more. Crackdown 2007. Crackdown is like that wild party you didn't expect to enjoy but ended up being the life of. This game is all about embracing your inner chaos agent in a sprawling urban playground. Let's break it down, shall we? First off, the graphics. Imagine a comic book coming to life, but with a few more explosions. The art style is simple yet effective, with characters that look like they've been ripped straight from a graphic novel. The black outlines around characters give it a unique flair, though they've been toned down from earlier versions. The real stars of the show, however, are the explosions. The physics and particle effects are so over the top that you'll find yourself blowing stuff up just for the sheer joy of it. Sure, it's not Gears of War level of detail, but it's got its own charm with crisp textures and long draw distances that make Pacific City feel alive and kicking. Now, the audio. If you're looking for memorable dialogue or a killer soundtrack, you might want to adjust your expectations. The characters are mostly silent, and the citizens of Pacific City don't have much to say either. The narrator's game show tone can get a bit grating after a while, but hey, at least the explosions sound fantastic in 5.1 surround sound. The licensed music, let's just say it's so forgettable that silence might actually be an upgrade. The plot is where things get a bit shaky. The story is there just to give you a reason to blow things up and collect orbs. You're an agent tasked with taking down gangs to bring order to Pacific City. The characters are interchangeable, and the narrative won't win any awards. But who cares about the plot when you can leap across skyscrapers like a super-powered frog on steroids? The game starts you off with 0 powers, but as you collect orbs, you'll jump higher, run faster, and wield more powerful weapons. It's all about leveling up your agility, strength, firearms, explosives, and driving skills. The controls are straightforward, and the lock-on targeting system makes combat a breeze. The driving, however, is a mix. Civilian cars handle like shopping carts, but the agency vehicles are a blast once you power them up. The game's structure is fluid and natural. You start in a small district and gradually unlock more areas as you progress. Boss fights are more about peeling away layers of henchmen than facing a tough opponent, but the real fun is in the orb collecting. It's an addictive cycle of jumping, collecting, and jumping higher to collect more. Co-op play is a highlight, allowing you and a friend to wreak havoc together. Unfortunately, there's no local multiplayer, but online co-op is a blast despite occasional lag issues. Dead or Alive 4, 2005. Dead or Alive 4 is a remarkable entry in the fighting game genre, showcasing the capabilities of the Xbox 360 with its stunning visuals, intricate gameplay, and immersive audio. Team Ninja has meticulously crafted each character with incredible detail, from the flowing hair of Kasumi to the intricate costumes of each fighter. The environments are equally impressive, featuring interactive and destructible elements that add a layer of depth to the battles. Whether you're fighting under the cherry blossoms in Kyoto or amidst the neon lights of Las Vegas, the visual experience is consistently breathtaking. The attention to detail is so precise that you might find yourself momentarily distracted by the stunning backgrounds until a cheetah decides to join the fray in the Savannah Safari level, that is. When it comes to gameplay, Dead or Alive 4 offers a complex and rewarding experience. The counter system has been refined, requiring precise timing and skill, which can be both challenging and satisfying. The The AI opponents are tough, pushing players to constantly improve their skills. The game introduces new moves and tweaks to existing mechanics, making it deeper and more sophisticated than its predecessors. Button mashers beware. This game demands strategy and finesse. The online mode is a highlight, providing a smooth and virtually lag-free experience that will keep players engaged for hours. The plot of Dead or Alive 4 is admittedly not its strongest suit. Like many fighting games, the story mode serves more as a series of loosely connected battles rather than a coherent narrative. However, the quirky and often humorous end movies, such as Zack's Indiana Jones, Bugs Bunny, Mortal Kombat parody, add a layer of charm and entertainment. The story mode might not win any awards for storytelling, but it provides a fun backdrop for the intense action. The audio in Dead or Alive 4 is another standout feature. The sound effects are crisp and impactful, making every punch and kick feel satisfying. The background music sets the tone perfectly for each battle, and the voice, acting while sometimes cheesy, adds to the game's overall charm. The inclusion of Aerosmith's Eat the Rich as the opening theme and Amazing during Helena's ending movie adds a rock and roll flair that complements the game's energetic vibe. Project Gotham Racing 4 2007. Project Gotham Racing 4 is a wild ride that keeps you on the edge of your seat with its blend of arcade thrills and realistic touches. This game takes the best parts of its predecessors and adds a few new twists, making it a must-play for racing fans. PGR 4 is a visual treat, even if it's not the absolute prettiest racer on the Xbox 360. The cars and bikes are meticulously detailed, and the environments are stunning. You'll race through 10 beautiful locales, from the misty hills of Macau to the narrow streets of London. The dynamic weather system is a standout feature, adding rain, snow, and fog that not only look cool, but also affect your driving. Rain puddles can slow you down, and snow makes the roads slippery, forcing you to adapt your racing strategy on the fly. It's not just eye candy, it genuinely impacts gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, PGR 4 sticks to its roots with the kudos system, rewarding you for stylish driving, drifting, getting air, and clean racing sections all earn you points, which you can use to unlock new cars, bikes, and tracks. The addition of motorcycles is both good and bad. They're fun and add variety, but they don't quite fit seamlessly into the PGR formula. Drifting on a bike just doesn't have the same satisfying feel as sliding a car around a corner. The new career mode, designed to mimic a racing season, is a bit of a letdown. It's rigid, with no option to retry events immediately, which can be frustrating if you're a perfectionist. The audio in PGR 4 is a mixed experience. The engine sounds are fantastic, with a huge variety of authentic sounding roars that change depending on your driving viewpoint. The soundtrack, however, is a bit all over the place. It features a mix of world, rock, hip-hop, jazz, and classical tunes, but the quality of the individual tracks doesn't always hit the mark. The standout is Shadow by The Prodigy, which plays in the menus and adds a cool vibe to the game. But let's be honest, the real music to a gearhead's ears is the sound of those engines. It's a racing game, so don't expect a gripping narrative. The career mode tries to add some structure by having you progress through a racing season, but it's more about the thrill of the race than any storyline. You race, you earn kudos, you unlock new stuff, and you try to climb the rankings. It's simple and straightforward, which is exactly what you want in a game like this. Project Gotham Racing 4 is thus a solid entry in the series that offers plenty of fun, even if it doesn't revolutionize the genre. The graphics and dynamic weather system are impressive. The gameplay is engaging with the kudos system, and the audio, while hit or miss, generally enhances the experience. If you're a fan of stylish arcade racing, PGR 4 is definitely worth a spin.
Hector says buenas noches.
Saints Row 2006. Prepare yourself for a deep dive into the chaotic and thrilling world of Saints Row. This game offers a unique blend of action, humor, and open-world exploration that has captivated gamers since its release. The plot of Saints Row is a roller coaster ride through the fictional city of Stillwater. You start as an unnamed protagonist who gets caught up in the gang warfare that plagues the city. After being saved by Julius, the leader of the 3rd Street Saints, you join the gang and work your way up the ranks. The narrative is a classic tale of rags to riches, but with a modern twist. The story is filled with colorful characters, unexpected plot twists, and a healthy dose of dark humor. It's like a gangster movie on steroids, with enough profanity and violence to make even the most hardened players blush. When it comes to audio, Saints Row is a hit and miss. The soundtrack features a variety of lesser-known tracks that add to the game's gritty atmosphere. The voice acting is top-notch, with each character bringing their own unique flair to the dialogue. However, the sound effects can be a bit off. Car engines sometimes sound like they're purring rather than roaring, and gunfire lacks the punch you'd expect from a game that prides itself on mayhem. On the plus side, the radio commercials are a hilarious touch. The open world design allows for endless exploration and mayhem. The controls are smooth and the gunplay is satisfying, thanks to a free aim system that feels just right. The game offers a variety of missions and side activities, from carjacking and drug trafficking to pimping and insurance fraud. The AI can be a bit inconsistent, sometimes acting like tactical geniuses and other times like clueless bystanders. The multiplayer modes add another layer of chaos, with modes like Protect the Pimp and Blinged Out Ride providing endless entertainment. Just be prepared for some connection issues if you're playing co-op. The environments are richly detailed, with distinct neighborhoods that feel alive and vibrant. The car explosions are spectacular, and the character animations, especially in cutscenes, are impressive. However, the game does suffer from some technical hiccups, such as texture pop-ins and screen tearing. It's like dating someone who's gorgeous, but occasionally shows up with spinach in their teeth. You love them, but you wish they'd clean up a bit more. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. Lost Odyssey, 2007. Lost Odyssey is a JRPG that takes you on an emotional roller coaster through the eyes of Kaim Argonar, a 1000-year-old immortal who has lost his memories. The game kicks off with a bang, literally, as Kaim survives a meteor impact on a battlefield, setting the stage for a journey filled with political interest, personal loss, and the quest to recover lost memories. While the main plot can sometimes feel cliched and convoluted, it's the smaller personal stories of Kaim and his companions that truly shine and give the game its emotional depth. The gameplay is a nostalgic nod to classic turn-based RPGs, complete with a traditional menu system for combat. You can attack, use items, cast spells, and activate skills in a system that feels like a throwback to the late 90s. The game introduces a unique aim ring system, adding a timing element to physical attacks that can make battles more engaging. Immortals in your party learn skills from humans and accessories, adding a layer of strategy to character development. The ring building system also allows for customization of combat bonuses, making inventory management a rewarding experience for those who love to micromanage. The game uses Unreal Engine 3, and while some locations and character models are stunningly detailed, others feel unfinished. The spell effects are spectacular, and the enemy designs are both beautiful and grotesque, adding to the game's visual appeal. However, the game suffers from frequent loading screens and occasional framerate drops, particularly during combat intros and picture-in-picture cutscenes. The audio experience is another highlight, thanks to the legendary Nobuo Uematsu, who delivers a soundtrack that ranges from stirring piano pieces to soaring strings. While some tracks feel like B-sides from a Final Fantasy game, the main theme is lovely and memorable. The English voice acting, however, leaves much to be desired, but fortunately, there's an option for Japanese dubbing. Dance Central 3, 2012. Dance Central 3 is a vibrant and energetic dance game that takes full advantage of the Xbox 360 Kinect's capabilities. This game is the third installment in the Dance Central series and continues to build on its predecessors with new features, a diverse soundtrack, and a quirky story mode. The graphics in Dance Central 3 are solid, though not groundbreaking. The character models are well animated and the environments are colorful and lively, enhancing the overall dance party vibe. However, some reviews note that the graphics could be more detailed and polished compared to other contemporary games. Despite this, the visual presentation is more than adequate for a dance game, where the focus is on movement and rhythm rather than photorealism. The game offers a variety of modes, including the New Crew Throwdown, which allows up to 8 players to compete in teams. This mode adds a fun, competitive edge to the game, making it perfect for parties and gatherings. The core mechanics remain the same. Players mirror the dance moves of the on-screen avatars, with the Kinect sensor tracking their movements. The game is challenging but rewarding, requiring practice and precision to master the routines. The inclusion of a story mode, where players travel through different decades to learn various dance styles, adds a unique twist and keeps the gameplay fresh and engaging. The soundtrack is a standout feature, boasting over 40 songs that span several decades, from the disco hits of the 70s to contemporary chart toppers. This diverse selection ensures that there's something for everyone. Whether you're a fan of classic dance tracks or modern pop hits, the game's ability to import songs from previous Dance Central titles further expands the musical library, providing endless dance opportunities. Audio quality in Dance Central 3 is excellent, with crisp, clear tracks that make you want to get up and move. The sound effects and voice commands are well integrated, enhancing the overall experience. The game also features a fitness mode that tracks calories burned, making it a fun way to stay active and healthy. The plot of Dance Central 3 is delightfully absurd, involving a secret agent narrative where players must stop an evil dance genius by mastering dance crazes from different eras. It's a playful addition that doesn't take itself too seriously, which is perfect for a game designed to be fun and entertaining. Splosion Man 2009. Splosion Man is one of those quirky, offbeat games that grabs your attention and doesn't let go. This platformer is a delightful mix of explosive action, humor, and challenging puzzles. The plot is simple, yet effective. You play as Splosion Man, a lab experiment gone hilariously wrong, who must escape from a series of dangerous laboratories using his unique ability to explode at will. The controls are straightforward. Move with the left analog stick and explode with any of the face buttons. This simplicity belies the depth of the game, as your explosions serve multiple purposes: jumping, attacking, and interacting with the environment. You can explode 3 times in succession before needing a brief recharge, effectively giving you a triple jump. The game is packed with inventive obstacles and puzzles that require both quick reflexes and strategic thinking. If you're a fan of games like N+, you'll feel right at home here, but Splosion Man takes the concept to new heights with its dynamic camera angles and constant introduction of new mechanics. The game is presented in a 2.5D style with 3D graphics on a 2D plane. The animations are sharp and full of character, from Splosion Man's manic grins to the terrified reactions of the scientists. The environments, while somewhat repetitive, are detailed and filled with destructible objects that add to the chaotic fun. The game maintains a lighthearted, cartoonish aesthetic that perfectly complements its offbeat premise. One of the standout features of Splosion Man is its sense of humor. The game is filled with references to action films and cheesy 80s songs, and it never takes itself too seriously. The scientist's transformation into neatly packaged deli meats upon exploding is a sight that never gets old. The game also includes a Way of the Coward option for players who get stuck, allowing them to skip a level at the cost of wearing a ballerina tutu in the next stage. In addition to the robust single-player campaign, Splosion Man offers a cooperative multiplayer mode with its own set of levels. Up to 4 players can team up locally or online using coordinated explosions to overcome challenges. While this mode can be a bit repetitive and requires perfect timing, it's a fun addition that extends the game's replayability. Overall, Splosion Man is a blast, literally and figuratively.
Let's go home.
Ace Combat 6 Fires of Liberation 2007. Ace Combat 6 Fires of Liberation is a thrilling ride through the skies that combines intense aerial combat with a story that tries to tug at your heartstrings. The game puts you in the cockpit of various fighter jets as Talisman, the lead pilot of Garuda team, tasked with reclaiming the fictional Republic of Emeria from the invading Estovakians. The plot is a mix of military drama and personal stories, featuring characters like a heartbroken mother and a stoic enemy pilot. While the story adds some emotional depth, it often feels disconnected from the gameplay and is bogged down by repetitive dialogue, especially the overused phrase, "dance with the angels." The controls are smooth and responsive, making it easy to perform high-speed maneuvers and engage in dogfights. The missions are varied and expansive, often requiring you to complete multiple objectives, from taking out enemy aircraft to supporting ground troops. The game offers a good balance of challenge and accessibility, with an arcade-style flight model that lets you focus on the action rather than the intricacies of flight simulation. The replay value is high, thanks to the multiple objectives in each mission and the extensive online multiplayer modes, which include dogfights, team battles, and co-op missions. The environments are beautifully rendered, with photorealistic skies, water, and weather effects that make you feel like you're really soaring through the air. The aircraft models are detailed and look fantastic, whether you're flying a sleek F-22 Raptor or a rugged A-10 Thunderbolt II. The game's graphics shine the most during the large-scale battles, where dozens of units fill the screen, creating a sense of being part of a massive war effort. However, the ground textures can look a bit bland up close, and the sense of speed diminishes when you're flying at higher altitudes. The audio in Ace Combat 6 is a hit and miss. The sound effects are top-notch, from the roar of jet engines to the satisfying explosions of enemy targets. The soundtrack, composed by the series' familiar music team, features a mix of orchestral and rock tracks that fit the high-octane action perfectly. However, the voice acting leaves much to be desired. Ace Combat 6 is well worth taking for a spin. Just be prepared to hear "Dance with the Angels" more times than you'd like.
Never forget what we have sacrificed for the good of humanity.
Too Human 2008. Too Human is a game that takes a bold swing at blending Norse mythology with a futuristic cyberpunk aesthetic. And while it doesn't always hit the mark, it offers a unique experience that's worth checking out for fans of action RPGs. You step into the shoes of Baldur, a cybernetically enhanced god tasked with protecting humanity from a relentless onslaught of machines. The story is ambitious, weaving together elements of ancient myths with sci-fi concepts, but it often feels like it's trying to do too much at once. The narrative can be confusing, and the dialogue is peppered with awkward moments, but there are flashes of brilliance, particularly in the game's depiction of the gods and their internal conflicts. The game employs a dual analog stick control scheme, where one stick moves Baldur and the other directs his attacks. It's a system that takes some getting used to, and while it can feel intuitive during combat, it also comes with its share of frustrations. The camera, for instance, is notoriously finicky, often getting stuck in awkward positions or failing to provide a clear view of the action. Despite these issues, the combat itself can be quite satisfying, especially when you're chaining together attacks and launching enemies into the air for stylish combos. The game also features a robust loot system, with a constant stream of new weapons and armor to collect and customize, which will appeal to players who enjoy tweaking their gear for optimal performance. Visually, Too Human is a bit of a roller coaster. The environments are beautifully designed, with a mix of high-tech and mythological elements that create a striking world. The character models and animations, however, are less consistent. Some of the cutscenes look great, while others suffer from stiff animations and lackluster facial expressions. The game's graphics are generally solid, but they don't quite reach the heights of other titles from the same era. The audio in Too Human is another area where the game shines and stumbles in equal measure. The soundtrack is powerful and fitting, with epic orchestral scores that enhance the game's grandiose atmosphere. The sound effects, from the clash of weapons to the hum of futuristic machinery, are well done and add to the overall experience. Voice acting, on the other hand, is hit or miss. One of the game's more enjoyable aspects is its cooperative multiplayer mode, which allows two players to team up and tackle the game's challenges together. This mode strips away the story elements and focuses purely on combat and loot, making it a fun way to experience the game with a friend. However, it's limited to just 2 players, which feels like a missed opportunity given the game's emphasis on teamwork and group skills. Naruto: Rise of a Ninja, 2007. Naruto: Rise of a Ninja is a great blend of adventure and fighting game that takes players through the first 80 episodes of the beloved Naruto anime. This Xbox 360 exclusive offers both fans and newcomers an engaging way to experience Naruto's journey from an outcast to a hero. The gameplay is divided into two main modes: a 3D action-adventure and a traditional 2D fighting game. In the adventure mode, players explore a beautifully recreated Konoha village, complete with narrow alleyways, rooftops, and iconic locations from the series. The missions range from simple fetch quests to more complex tasks like racing and platforming. As Naruto, you'll gain new abilities such as sprinting, double jumping, and various jutsu techniques that open up new areas and secrets in the game world. The pacing can be slow initially, but it picks up significantly as you progress, making the adventure mode quite rewarding. The fighting mechanics, while not as deep as games like Virtua Fighter or Tekken, are fast-paced and visually stunning. Each of the 11 playable characters has unique combos and jutsu moves, which are activated through a series of hand signals using the thumbsticks. The combat is accessible and fun, with strategic elements that keep it interesting. The multiplayer mode, particularly the Forest of Death exam, adds a competitive edge, allowing players to battle online in an open tournament style that is both thrilling and well executed. Graphically, Rise of a Ninja is a standout with its cel-shaded visuals that capture the essence of the anime. The character models are vibrant and expressive, though the transitions between the 3D game engine and 2D animated cutscenes can be a bit jarring. The environments, especially Konoha, are detailed and immersive, blending the colorful aesthetics of the show with a touch of realism. The audio in the game is another highlight. The voice acting features the English cast from the anime, which adds authenticity and familiarity for fans. The soundtrack, composed by Einon Zur and others, complements the action and exploration perfectly, enhancing the overall experience. The plot follows Naruto's early adventures, from his graduation at the Ninja Academy to the intense Chunin exams. The story is told through a mix of in-game events and actual clips from the anime, providing a faithful adaptation of the series. However, the narrative can feel rushed at times, as it condenses a significant amount of content into a relatively short playtime of around 6-8 hours. Naruto: Rise of a Ninja is a must-play for fans of the series and a great introduction for newcomers. Haunt, 2012. Haunt is a Kinect exclusive adventure game that brings a playful twist to the haunted house genre. This game is perfect for kids and nostalgic adults alike. The plot of Haunt is delightfully whimsical. You play as an unwitting hero summoned to a spooky Victorian mansion by the eccentric and corpulent Benji Muldoon, who is trapped in his own paintings. Your mission is to collect 4 mystical Fanta flasks to power a machine that will free Benji from his two-dimensional prison. The story doesn't take itself too seriously, which adds to the game's lighthearted charm. Visually, Haunt embraces a cartoony style that perfectly complements its playful tone. The mansion is filled with candlelit corridors, creaky doors, and neon-colored ghosts that look like they stepped out of a Saturday morning cartoon. The graphics are simple but effective, creating an atmosphere that is spooky yet fun, rather than genuinely terrifying. The audio design in Haunt is another highlight. The game features a fantastic script and voice acting, with Tim Schafer lending his voice to the character of Benji Muldoon. The sound effects and music are suitably eerie, with creaking doors and ominous piano stings adding to the haunted house vibe. The audio cues are also integral to the gameplay, especially in sections where you need to react to sounds to avoid traps or defeat ghosts. The game uses motion controls to immerse you in the experience. You use one hand to control a flashlight, walk in place to move through the mansion, and perform various actions like ducking, dodging, and punching to interact with the environment and fend off ghosts. While the controls can occasionally be a bit finicky, they generally work well and add a physical element to the game that is both engaging and entertaining. One of the game's strengths is its accessibility. The challenges are not overly difficult, making it suitable for younger players and those who prefer a more relaxed gaming experience. The game is generous with health boosts and extra lives, ensuring that players are not easily frustrated. However, this also means that more experienced gamers might find the lack of challenge a bit underwhelming. Despite its simplicity, Haunt offers a variety of activities to keep players entertained. Each wing of the mansion has a different theme, focusing on sound, sight, or movement, which helps to keep the gameplay fresh. There are also fun little touches, like seeing your sepia-tinted photo hanging in the mansion after visiting a photography room. Marvelous verdict. This was a nice stroll through these 15 unique games. We hope you enjoyed it because a lot of gamers don't get to experience these titles simply because they don't have an Xbox. And don't get us started on emulators. These games are thus our special breed of games to be coveted and enjoyed thoroughly. Their frequency is on the rise as more platforms demand exclusivity. Let's see where this experiment goes. Thanks for watching. Adios, amigos.